Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Here we go again. It's just another strange day. They're talking about replacing the Fed chair again. Mr. Biden has been interviewing people, so I guess they won't say too much about that, and I guess they'll rally the market when it finally happens, just solely because what else can they do but just rally the market? As we take a sip of our tea this morning, because it is morning time here in the States. All right, let's get to the fact checks. Oh no, there's the fact check. That's up. We're looking at the Swiss this morning. Right there. That's a dollar index, as you can see there. It's been heading down. Let's get the Swiss up there. There it is. Swiss is marching up, which is kind of odd. Since the dollar index is going down, because normally when the Swiss is going up, it means that the dollar is going down in value, and so in other words, it should be rising right here. This should be going up, not down. Oh, that's the 8th. So what's today? The 9th, right? Okay, so we're not seeing what today is. Let's see what. Oh, that's right. It's not ticking yet. It won't tick for another. This is an ETF. So this is the ETF of the dollar index. So it won't start ticking for another 29 minutes. Okay, that makes sense now. So looking at the Swiss, let's go back to that Swiss. I think I have it up on J4X too at the same time. There we are. And let's take a look at it there also. So the dollar is getting stronger. Okay. And we see it over here in the J4X too. Same thing. We have a lot of green here. Just like we do right here with the green dots, and then we have the volatility dot a couple days ago. We've been in the daily buying this product for 4 days now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. This is going on a 6th day. And let's see if we can find it on the sheet here. Every time I touch that spreadsheet, it does that to me, and I got to go cancel it. There we go. And so right there, line 21, 5 full days in a buy. And it just keeps on pushing up. Gold is moving up. We got the dollar moving up. We've got Bitcoin moving up. Everything's moving up, and that's an interesting. I mean, the markets are trying to figure it out at this point. Oh, I see. We have an ag report coming out this morning, also at the same time. Where was I at? Oh, the Bitcoin. Yeah, the Bitcoin up, I guess, another all-time high. It's not like it's that far away from the all-time highs, but, it's jumped it's up a couple $1,000s. We're looking at, this morning kind of, every so often what happens is you get these themes on the financial channels. And today the theme is we are a minus now in interest, solely because of the inflation rate. We didn't have a big inflation rate for a long time. Throughout this the quantitative easing years, and here we are in the 13th year of it, and all of a sudden inflation's kicking out, and so it's all of a sudden we are pushing ourselves into this minus return. In other words, the interest rates need to be higher, and they're not, and so that's got some people looking at it and going, they need to raise rates, and that's the talk right now. Today is let's raise rates, and so now they're. In the end result is that you can't fudge it forever. QE can only last so long. And that's what it really comes down to at this point. We're at a point now that the interest rates, because of the expansion of inflation, all of a sudden has people going, ooh, I don't like what we see. It's like, well, yeah, that's the way it goes. And I guess, it's a lot of smoke and mirror for 13 years. This should not have gone on. Well, QE, see, that's the problem, is not allowing companies to go out of business so that we could have that creative destruction. And that's the problem, really. I mean, currencies didn't have to go out of business. Currencies were just currencies. There was nothing more than that. So there was not much of a need for, it wasn't like, okay, shut this country down. We don't like its currency anymore. It's just a value. But when it comes to a company and a stock, bad management is just bad management. It's a short life, and that's a real problem. I see that as a real problem. I really do. I'm amazed that we've gone this far in such a situation, but that is what it is when you give the government opportunity. Good morning, Douglas. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's see, middle age. Good morning to you. What time does the grain report come out? Robin says it's here. I can think we put it up there. More smoke. That's not it. Let's see, where is it at? Robin just sent it over. The grain report comes out at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So we are at 7:35 a.m. here. So we're talking 8 o'clock will be basically 4 hours and 25 minutes. Because we were going to write something up on soybeans compared to some of the other stuff that's been going on. In other words, we have wheat in a buy. We have corn in a buy for weeks, and we have soybeans in a weekly sell for weeks. So, oats in a buy. I was saying to Robin yesterday, there has to be a lot of people out there really confused and not sure what to do next, solely because we had some of our clients try to tell us. They were like, "Nah, you're not going to see $4 oats again." And I was like, "No, the way this math is going, we're probably going to see $4 oats again with no problem." And who knows? It might even hit 5. Well, here we are at 7.5, and that has to have a lot of farmers. I'm a farmer, and I'm around farmers. The farmers don't like that. They get confused. They don't like uncertainty. They like consistency. They don't want excitement. They just want to put their crops in and go. The 550 calls. Yeah, aren't we? Where is? Let's take a look at that. Now you got me interested. It's been running up, I think. Yeah. Let me just open that. We've been watching that climb like that. Here we go. We're opening it up right now. But anyhow, there it is. There's the dollar. It's moving up against the Swiss, which is a tad surprising to me. I thought for sure we were going to go check out that bottom, especially with the weekly the way it is. And you can see it. Let's see, can we see it on the screen there? Where's that mouse at? Right there. You can see this. I mean, the weekly's way down, so I keep on thinking like the Swiss is going to come down and challenge the bottom end of the range. But that's not happening. All right, there we go. We got it loaded now. Here comes the corn. Cornucopia. Right there. And we got a little volatility thing going on. We've been in a daily sell since up in here. I think we talked about that yesterday. And you can see it's trying to bottom out in here. And you can see our weekly is strong and it's bouncing. I keep on thinking they're going to go find a way to get higher. I think the high is 6 and change, or 7. Did they run it? Did they run it to 7 at one point? Corn. There's 6. There's 6 back in July, and I remember like the front month of corn. Was it September? Maybe. I guess it was September. Could have been September. They ran it. But no, July corn. I think that's what it was. They ran July corn to $7 or something like that, didn't they? There is May corn with a high of 637, and then there's was that 628? So I think when it went to delivery, they ran it over $7 at one point. Douglas says NZD CAD, dollar CAD, Cad Yen. Sure. Back to the currencies again. So yeah, middle age, you're stepping into the breach there. Who knows? Maybe they'll run it to $6. That'd be a nice move, wouldn't it? All right. So the first one is NASCAD, and as you can see it on the fact check spreadsheet too. We have that on the spreadsheet right there on line 22. 2 weeks in a buy and 2 days in a buy. Now let's jump up over and look at that. Looky with a NASDAQ, the New Zealand CAD cookie. There it is right there. This is going on a 3rd day. You can see here the weekly just seems to want to really launch itself. Notice we haven't looked at this in a while because I don't see any lines, so we haven't filled anything in a while. Let's grab that green and move it over. Let's see how she's been doing. So we're in a weekly buy for 2 weeks now, going on a 3rd. We went into, let's see, the first good, I guess right here we were in a weekly We were in a weekly sell for a while. Let's put that there. So we're in a buy there for this move already. So that's good. So we're not doing too bad there. You couldn't take the sell because we're in a buy. Right there. So, and it didn't really do well to begin with. Let's see, let's put the buy in right there. So that buy wasn't the most magnificent either. And then let's steal this buy and move this over. Went into the buy there. I guess it was a winner chicken dinner. Very small one. And then it, money management saved you from this, and then we closed in a sell, and all it did is go up. And then we went back into a buy here, and you got a nice pop out of it yesterday. And so it was a nice winner chicken dinner. This is an interesting one. That sell right there. We were in a weekly buy. Let's move that over. Where's the sell at? There must be a sell. There's a sell. We're going to steal that sell and move it over like that. We went into the sell right here. So we were in a sell for this whole slide. Unfortunately, we were, the 5, the super side of it, the 5 was underneath, but the 3 was not. Then finally it did that. We went into a buy here. That's a double. See, that's a red and a green right there. And that's a red and green. So 2 volatility signals. And then we went into the sell right here. Let's grab another sell. We'll create one this time. So, okay. So we've been in a sell. I get it now. So we were in a sell from here and didn't go into a buy until here. So because that's a red green there, and that's a red green there. So then we went into the buy here, right there, and it stopped you from, whatever profits you made from any of this move right here, you kept. And then, let's see what else we got going on here. And this was a good buy here, wasn't it? And I went into a buy, sell, buy. So we did the, let's put them in there. So we went buy, and then we went sell, and then buy again. This thing does trend, doesn't it? I noticed there's some good pairs trades that really do trend nicely, Then it went into the sell here, and then we did a buy, sell, buy. Or in this case, we did a sell, and then buy, and then a sell again. Boy, was it giving you a warning right at the top. We'd been in a buy here, went into the buy here, caught that whole thing. There's like 10 chicken dinners you won there. And then it goes and gives you a sell right there. So now you're standing around waiting. You go back into the buy here, you take it on the chin the next day, right? And then it keeps you out of the market for this whole slide. And you can't get long here. And we're just closing into the daily sell. You go into the, where is it at? Right. Where is it? That's, now, oh, I see. It does go into a buy here. So that buy there, yeah, it goes into the buy there. And then it goes into the sell the next day, I see. Okay. Too bad. So there we go. We get smacked in our heads. We lose dinero. See, that's at 1.5. And then it gives it back to you. You make all that money back again. All the money's made back. And then, let's give it a green here. And you go in your buy there. You got to wait. You're not short through all this. You're just standing there waiting. And then it goes into the buy. And what's interesting is that this is the first real good juice to that buy. In other words, that was barely making any money. So, a little sloppiness, I guess you could say, out of all of it. How's that? Does that help out there? Was it Douglas, right? Hey, Douglas. Okay, now let's look at Canadian. There's Cad. Oh, look at it. It's playing with the daily sell today. And look at the weekly, though, trying to climb back up again. Huh. Interesting. And then, what else you got on there? Cad Yen. Let's see what Cad Yen looks like. there. I think I'm going to have a sip of tea too. Now this has been in a weekly buy since here, Cad Yen. Wow, look at the way this thing trends. That's a long weekly sell. Weekly sell from here. Let's put that in there. We'll fix them afterwards. And then it goes into a weekly buy there, and that's where we're at now. What a nice long trend. They're always great when they do that. And then you can see that was a nice win there. Can't take the short at all. There's another wonderful win there. Boy, there's a good product to trade, you know. You know, Douglas, that's definitely something well worth playing around with. And then let's widen this out a little bit. And then you can see it goes into the sell right here. And it's still in the sell. But it doesn't seem to be going down too far. But now we've got the weekly piercing the time manifold here. And so there's some pressure on this now. Let's see, middle age says AUD dollar, sure. We got one more. We're going to do AUD yen. Let's see what that looks like. That looks like a fun one also. AUD CAD, AUD dollar, GBP AUD. There it is. AUD yen. There's the weekly buy right there. That's pretty cool. After 2 weeks in the sell for that little action there, and then a flippity flop there. Let's see, let's widen this. So, it goes into the buy here. What a rampage. Nice. And gets you out here. A couple days down, gets you back into the buy right there. Not much action, just like the other product, the other pairs trade. And then it goes back into the sell here, but we're in a weekly buy, so you're just not long at the moment, that's all. All right, now let's jump over to, what was it, AUD dollar. I love it when you guys ask questions. I look at this, I go, oh, I should make a trade out of that. Hey, 47, how you doing? I'm like, hey, I need to trade that more often. Boy, I need to hire more traders. I really do. All right, let's see. There is the AUD dollar. We've been in a daily sell from here. I just took a sip of my tea, but we've been in a weekly buy now. What, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks? Is that right? What do we have on the fact check spreadsheet? Let's just double check it. Yeah, 4 weeks in a buy. This is the 5th. Okay. So you can see it there on line 12, is it? Yeah, line 12. So we're 3 days in a sell and 4 weeks in a buy. I don't know. It looks like it's trying to turn up again. All right, now let's do 47s. Let's check out the Gbp Jpy. Gbp Jpy. There are some, you know, we've talked about this here. There are some really good currency pairs that we just don't pay attention to, that should be paid attention to, that are really good trenders. They trend, and they trend well. Let's give this a reshaping. Notice we were watching something in there, a triangle. So the last time we looked at this, we were staring at a triangle. Okay, so we've been in a daily sell since the last time we looked at it. We had it filled in. And you can see here the weekly is going after the zero line. But look at the daily. The daily is trying to get into a buy today. Right there. If this thing starts to turn back up, who's this? 47, right? Hey, 47, if this thing starts to, you know, closes in a daily buy, and the weekly holds up, maybe they're going to pop it back up to the, whatever. I'm not sure what this dashed line in I was looking at, but obviously it topped out at it. Let's tighten that up and see if we can see what that is. Ah, okay. And there's a big long triangle we were looking at. There we go. Okay, that makes sense. So there's 1, 2, buckle my shoe, 3, 4, shut the door, 5, 6, pick up sticks, 7, and the R.N. Elliott W.D. Gann idea of 7, points and then it takes the trend of the 2, and the 2 is right here. So if that's the 2, then the next move should have been right up into this area here. It broke it, and it's going after this top in here. All right, that's pretty cool. Thank you, guys and gals. Keep on asking questions. You know, I mean, that's you know, we might find a good trade out of these things. There's you basically you found like 3 really good trades to be involved in. So and this is why I ask people to look at things. You know, tell me what you're thinking, what you want to see. You know, because you don't know. I might find a good trade out of it. You know, there's so much in a day. I remember, you know, I've said this before. I remember years ago someone would say, so you trade soybeans and you trade yen. Which one do you like more? And I said, the one I make money in. And they says, and I go, well, do you like, you know, which one do you like though to trade? I said, whatever I make money in. That's all. I said, I can spend profits in yen just as easily as I can spend profits in soybeans. The profits work either way as long as they're profits. In this case here, what Douglas and Middle Age and 47 have shown is there's other pair trades out there that have a lot of consistency. They like the trend. You know, they get you into a position, and especially if you're doing calls or binaries. Oh my God, it's like wow, real nice wins. You know, greater leverage in the binaries and greater leverage and less risk in both the options and the binaries. All right, where do we go? I guess we go back to, where do we go back to? Let's go back to the euro. Let's see what the euro's doing. Let's see what it looks like on J4X. Right there. Right there. Now, it was acting very strong this morning. As a matter of fact, I think it was over the 0 line at one point. And now it's not looking that way. Widen this out. Oh yeah, it is. Okay, it's still through it. There it is. You can see that right there. So we're through that. So we are trying to get into a buy on a down candle. No, that's with a green dot. Talk about crazy, huh? And you can see same thing over here on J4X. We got a green hinky. You can see the white line is past the dashed line. So it's doing the same exact thing, showing strength. And over here you see on the weekly, you can see we are threatening through the 0 line. So right there, what is it? It's trading at, plot 1 is 0, not minus, but 0.00003. So it's dancing on the buy side there. It's trying to get going. Cool. All right. And what else can we say about the J4X? Not much more. It's basically confirming, or you know, it's following very clearly along with our work. So that's always good. And that's what we do. We look at the J4X. You know, sometimes like, didn't I find a mistake I had looking at the J4X just yesterday? It's nice to look at a second thing. You know? All right. From here, we dance our way over to the cable. Boy, I saw an article this morning that said Brexit might be crushed, or something like that. You know, something with Northern Ireland, or no, Republic of Ireland, I guess. Brexit. They used to have a TV show called The Brady Bunch. You know, and they used to say Marsha. It was one of the stars in the show. As you can see here, cable doing the same thing. It's trying to lift. We got a red and a green, so it's battling with that. You can see it went into the weekly sell last week and is not doing too good a job at it. That's at 1.5, and we talked about this. We expected to see it bounce around off of this 0.23 on the Fibonacci, but it's even more gusto in it. You know, it's really trying to push up even a little bit more at this point. All right. Oh, let's just check it out on J4X. Well, we are here. Over here. The Yanks are coming. Alright, there we go, the cable. You see it doing the same thing, the white line through. We've got a green hinky. So there is some buying going on in the cable. I understand they caught some newspapers or something talking, putting out false data on COVID. So, I don't know what that's all about. I mean, well, we know it's all about. The politicians are trying to use it as a way of getting whatever they desire. Whatever they desire. All right, so there's the cable. So from here, what we do is we usually march over to the Turkish Lira. We follow Turkish Lira in two products, the dollar Turkish Lira and the euro Turkish Lira. So let's tune into that. And there's the dollar Turkish Lira. It's been jumped back into a daily buy a few days ago. You can see it right there, but it hasn't really gone anywhere. Let's put that little line in there too at the same time. Did I just screw something up? I think I just screwed something up. Oh, I see what happened. Somehow or another, I moved the where is it? All right, so the bars are fine, so that's cool. I moved the quant up. That's what I did. Now what? Okay, so now I got to move the weekly down. Ay, 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 ay. There we are. Back in the saddle again. Me and Roy Rogers there. There we go. So you can see, it's holding up. Let's put that line in there. I did all that accidentally with the line. There it is. So it goes into the buy there, but nothing major. It's been sideways from it. Now let's check out the euro. Let's save that too, so I don't have to put that line in there again. Save. Let's check out the euro against the Turkish lira. Same situation. Been in a buy since actually this has been in a buy since here. Because that is a red and a green, so that never went into a sell. So it's been in the buy since there. Right there. See how more accurate the euro Turkish lira is compared to the dollar Turkish lira. And again, we think that's, as I like to say, location, location, location. They just have to be trading more actively than we are with them. I mean, they're right next door. They're physically touching. It's like Canada with us, Does Europe really trade that actively with Canada? More than likely not. I mean, I'm sure they do on some level, but not, when you're right on the same doorstep. All right, so you can see here the euro against the Turkish lira is looking very, very, very fine. Let's check it out over here. Euro, Turkish lira right there. You're going to see a lot of green, I bet. Lots of green right here on the hinkies. Yeah, look at that. There's like 3, 4, 5, and it's 7 out of 9. It's not too bad. You can see it's been turned up since here. All right, what else can we say about that? That's pretty much it when it comes to the story of the Turkish lira. From there we go over to the Canadian again. Let's just take a quick peek again. So, where is it at? So, Douglas here will have a second bite of the apple of Canadian. Right there. And interesting, it's banging around the 50 percentile. And trying to roll over today too. But look at the weekly. That is something. Really pressing up. Alright, from there we jump over to the metals complex. So let's go there. And let's find it. Here is gold. Just kind of hanging around, nothing major. It's been a daily buy for 4 days, and a weekly buy since Friday. Strength pushing up. Now we'll take a look at crude oil. I think that's doing the same thing today. Yeah, there it is. Doing the same thing, except for the weekly is still trying to get into the weekly sell like it tried to do last week. You know, so it's just flirting with it. Maybe it's just digesting the action. Middle Age says, I'm going to close a few longs if gold hits the 1835 and then hold the rest. Smart. Very smart move. You know, I think that there's a pop coming on the upside in the metals complex. You know, I think that there's going to be buyers come reaching in for it. You have to figure that at this point in time, it's a perfect storm for the Federal Reserve. And I'm going to explain that right now. The perfect storm is that we know that there's inflation. Before, the Fed was trying to hide that there was inflation. They have no choice now. Matter of fact, the administration says inflation's a good thing. And they have no problem about it, and they're not worried about it. So that's there, okay? Second of all, when inflation kicks up, money managers usually buy stock at the beginning of it, you know, because it's a good inflation hedge to own companies that can raise prices. Oh, there's a yawn. Where'd that come from? So that's the second thing that's kind of interesting. So that kind of justifies, like, maybe money to rush in and buy gold and silver, and hence why we saw the silver have some life to it right there. So we've been in a weekly buy in this now. This is 3 full weeks we've been in a weekly buy of this, and it really hasn't gone anywhere since it's been there. You know, it ran up, it went to 25. Did it go to 25? What is that? That's, yeah, it went to 25, stalled out in that weekly buy, and then it fell down here to 23, and here we are dancing our way slowly back to 25 again. So I would imagine that there's a pop coming around here, and that they're going to get past the 25 and freak some people out. Maybe get to 26. I don't know. But one thing is for sure, it all fits now. It's not like it doesn't fit. And I'll repeat the 3 that I'm looking at, and that is the Federal Reserve is clear that there is some type of inflation. Okay, so they don't have to hide. Okay, you know, before they had to hide because, you know, for 13 years, you know, well, let's put it this way: during the Trump years, they had no problem raising rates, but during the 8 years of Obama, they had no interest whatsoever to ever raise a rate. So they had to hide the inflation, which meant that they had to knock gold down from almost 2,000 down to 1,000 to basically justify the idea that, you know, there's no inflation. You know, in other words, they're self-fulfilling prophecy. Now they don't have to do that right now, so that's all right. So that gives the opportunity for gold to take off on the upside and the metals in general. Second of all, companies like to buy stocks. Well, the Federal Reserve likes the stock market to be very strong. Well, if there's inflation, usually money managers kind of lean into buying stocks. So that helps out, again, the Federal Reserve, not feeling like they're under pressure. And then third of all, why not let gold fly up a little bit to confirm that the inflation's there? You know, because they don't want to look too crazy and keep on knocking gold down when there's inflation month after month. So they have to let it get off its back on some level. So that fits Middle Age's thing. You know, sell on the pop through the 1835 area. You know, would not. You know, who knows where it'll pop? It could pop as high as, you know. Let's go back to gold and just take a quick look. Where could this little beastie stall out at? Right there. So when we scrunch it down, I guess, you know, that must be like the 8, what's that? That's 826. It's been really stalled. I don't know, you know, to me, it wouldn't surprise me if we got to 1850 to 1900, 1910, something like that. You know, in other words, challenge this area in here. Worst case is here at 1850. The best case is like 1915, something like that. So that's pretty much, you can see that. It's been on a downwardly slope. As long as we're in a weekly buy and a daily buy, you have to assume that it's going to go up in value. Let's see, Middle Age says, I am looking to book some profits in the 26s. Yeah, you know, silver, I would think that they would lit these things up a little bit, because you got to believe that, you know, the incorporation manifestos to these funds, you know, they just got to have they gotta let this stuff play out. That's what it is. The Federal Reserve must let it play out and not look too crazy, like heavy manipulation, only mild manipulation. And that's pretty much the whole recipe of it all. Indeed, indeed. All right, now where do we go from here? Let's jump over to. So that's, we've looked at the metals. Oh, and did we look at crude oil? I think crude oil is up too. When we go to Canadian, we always go and look at gold and oil. So, and it's trying to flirt with a daily buy, but that weekly thing is going on still there. All right. From there, we go back over to the currency pairs again. We go look at the ruble. No, not the ruble. Well, we'll look at the ruble, but let's look at the dollar South African rand. Not there. Nothing up my sleeve. Fan mail from some flounder? No. Dollar ZAR right there. There we go. Let's put it up on J4X. Right there. So you can see here, it's been trying to go down for the last couple of days, so that's pretty cool. And the weekly is not too scary at the moment. It's trying to play with the downside. You would think that we would see this thing drop, because of the increase in value of gold. At least that's where my head's at. That's what I'm saying there. That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't blame you about booking some of those profits there. I really think that they have to let gold and silver lift a little bit more just to make everybody feel comfortable that they're still valid products. I think that's what the answer is. And there's something, by saying that sentence out loud, there's something to think about. And that is, they do seem to be fighting, the central banks are all fighting with the cryptocurrencies, or crypto assets, however you want to phrase them. So, if they're going to at least, go old school, you would think that they would allow the metals complex to move up. Just to confirm that they have value like cryptos do. Does that make sense? I think it does. All right, let's jump over to the ruble. Right there, same situation. Looks like the ZAR, doesn't it? South African rand. And still in that weekly sell for a ton of time. 13 weeks? Where's that mouse at? Oh, mouse. Come here, mouse. Right there on the ruble. Yeah, 13 weeks now in a weekly sell. 3 days in a sell. And so that's about all we can say about that. Next one we do is we look at the yen, which has been very fascinating, looking at different yens against like cable and so forth. And Cad. They were very insightful, that's for sure. And Aussie. They were fun products to look at. They definitely have some real good trending characteristics. And some of these pairs trades, we've talked about this throughout the year. Some of these what was always considered minor pairs, are really good products to be trading in. They're much more liquid than what they used to be because the central banks have to keep everything in line. So you can see we've been in a weekly buy since here. Maybe it'll push it into the sell this week. It's hard to say. We've been in a daily sell since here, so let's steal one of these reds. Okay. There's the red right there. Or is it? Yeah, I guess it is because it went into the buy here. Let's steal that buy. So I went into the buy right there, and then went right back into the sell right there. Steal that sell. And then it goes back into the buy. Let's put a buy in there. Right there. So it seems to be chopping around a little bit more, the yen against the dollar at the moment. All right. Last but not least of the pairs that we do look at is the Mexican peso against the dollar. right there. Boy, the math definitely picked up on that action, didn't they? So, okay, so it went into the weekly sell last week. Look at that. Okay. I don't think we got to it yesterday to be able to tell. There's there. And it's been in the daily sell since there, so that's not too bad. That's a